So my family got saved in 2016. I was born in a Roman Catholic family, and coming, from this Orthodox background, it never dawned on me to, reconsider my faith, reconsider, the root of where I come from. And eventually, it came to a point where my father was suffering, was going through stone. And, it almost became like a curse. And whenever my father used to get operated, it used to come again. And, eventually it, began to happen every once in a year. And where my father was getting operated, and we were going, back and forth throughout hospitals, Fortis, AIMS mostly. And we have spent a lot of time, going there. And so whenever you are in the hospitals, right, reality strikes you. Reality strikes you, and it shakes, your belief. It shakes you as a person, as where you are. It makes you, it makes the truth, lie naked, before you. Death is the most certain reality, and there is no way around it.
Correct.
You cannot, just skip. You cannot just, think that, I will make my way through it. Maybe just, as days pass by, I will have a better life. I believe, mostly, even in the old days, speaking about, in the medieval period, there were backlash, and there were, so wars have been there, ever since the beginning of this world, and people have, fought for their freedom, for, there were people, hunter-gatherers. They used to fight to, to take strongholds in different regions and things like this. So basically, what I have seen is, whenever, nations fight, and whenever people go through this, people have this one thing, they believe that, the near future will be better. Right. And that keeps them alive,
right.
And that keeps them, that keeps them strengthened. And that keeps them, expecting, something good to happen. And that is what keeps them, face, that is what binds them all together to, say that I will have a good future. And this is what drives man, to live with hope. And without hope, we fail as human beings,
Right. And coming back to your hospital thing with your father, right?
Right.
The most genuine prayers that ever happen are not in churches or not even in houses at times.
Absolutely, yes.
But in an hospital secret room or a lobby or near the hospital bed where your dear ones are sleeping.
Prayer rooms, mostly in private hospitals, but in mostly government hospitals like AIMS, they do have prayer rooms, but generally it's filled with, secular Christian. Secular, religions like, Hindus, mostly Islam, they, find their ways anyway,
So how that happened, like with your father?
Right. So, this, will unfold, my family getting saved and, how we came to faith. It's not something, we went, chamatkar ko namaskar karna. We didn't do that. My family was not driven, to see miracles. We never were brought like this, and my mother used to, my mother back when she, was doing her work, one of our colleagues, offered her a Bible, a Hindi Bible. She used to, mark all the way from Genesis to Revelation. She has read it. And so there was, this thing that has always kept her, in one way or the other, inside of the fabric, of our soul. She knew that there was a God, and she used to pray. And as far as I can remember, I used to, do the Lord's Prayer with her.
Wow.
But I was still a Roman Catholic, to me, churches were fashion shows, churches. I have lost 3 of my friends within 2 years. 2 years of, since 2020, since beginning from, the COVID thing. Right. And I lost, many of my brothers who died by suicide, who were close to me.
Okay.
Who used to sit next to me.
We
used to do, they were, daily hangout brothers. We used to hang out, and they were deep conversations. And one of them, was getting saved. One of them was, reconsidering his a Roman Catholic background, and he was, and the last thing he wrote in his bio in Instagram, I will be there to check your white collars. So I believe, he reconsidered before he hung himself on his ceiling. I believe he, got...
He hung himself.
Yes, he hung himself. He was very dear to mine.
So what was the reason for this suicide?
I believe it was basically, mostly drugs, mostly, depression, mostly, this suicidal depression that dawns on us every once in a while. Those who do drugs know, when you lean on something that is synthetic, that is not original, that is, not from God, you will eventually, find yourself empty.